if you look at the core, why there is a change in the industry because of the e-commerce, right? So it's all because of the customer's expectations. The customer's expectation is rapidly changing. The another view of this is the patience level of generation by generation is also drastically reducing. I'll give you an example. My grandparent was okay to wait for weeks to receive the goods. My parent was okay to wait for days to receive the goods. I am okay to wait for hours to receive the goods. My son, he is just 6 years old. I'm really worrying about the next generation. He's just 6 years old. The moment we ordered something online, the next minute he is asking when it will be arrived. See the expectations and the patience level from the weeks to days to hours to the minutes. So when the customer expectation is changing, the entire ecosystem needs to change.
Hi everybody, this is Libin, Chacko, Kurian from Stat Media Group. We are here in Mumbai for Chicago India 2024. Right now I'm joined by Sabari Ramnath. He is the Senior Manager for Unisys Cargo Solutions. Unisys is a global technology company that is serving the cargo industry for 4 decades now. Sabari is also a seasoned professional and he's been in the cargo industry for 2 decades now. He has been with many IT companies, serving many of the airlines and freight forwarders with many cargo solutions. Sabari, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Libin. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much for your presence. Let's start with talking about the market first. Tell us about what is happening in the market in terms of digital transformation. You are somebody who is into this market, into this industry, in terms of changes happening in the industry, in terms of digital adoption. We have seen some changes during COVID-19. For example, there was an acceleration of digital adoption in air cargo industry. Tell us about what is happening right now.
Libin, so first of all, let me be clear. When we say the digital transformation, in my view, we are transforming the businesses using technology. Okay, so for example, we are serving the customers before the customer has asked for. That is more proactiveness using the technology. I think we are not reached there yet. Where the industry is currently is converting the paper to digital, transitioning from the manual way of doing the business to digital way of doing the business. The best time to complete this job was 20 years ago. Okay, the next best time is now. I think industry needs to expedite this. So most of the times there is a different perception of the technology. The technology is not the need of the industry. Okay, the need of the industry is collaboration. The need of the industry is efficiency in the supply chain. The need of the industry is the visibility. Technology will help the air cargo industry to get in there, right? And another myth, the entire in the industry is technology is equals cost. Technology is not equal to cost. Technology is equals to value, right? We are generating value to the air cargo industry. So some of the things, that when we talk to the customers and say, hey, it's cost, right? So we have one solution called cargoportalservices.com, which is entirely free of cost for the freight forwarders, okay, to enable the transactions to the airlines, all the transactions. So first the industry needs to, digitalize their operations. Then once we get the data, then there are a lot of opportunities there for this industry to optimize the operations, increasing the revenue using AI and ML algorithms and the latest technology. So in my view, digital transformation is a journey. I think we have to expedite this to reap the benefits, from the digital solutions out there in the market.
Thank you so much for some of the very interesting opinions and perceptions about the market. I hope some of these things that you said right now is what you're witnessing in terms of how your clients are responding to you, how the cargo players are responding to you, or how their mindset is, for example. Can you give us an idea about what are the challenges there, for example, in dealing with those mindsets, or maybe, when you say, the technology is not equal to cost, but it is equal to value, for example. Is there a very similar corresponding mindset at the cargo industry also, how they are responding to it?
See, first of all, that mindset, as I said, right? So when if we talk to any customers, air cargo players, the first thing, they shouldn't think technology as a standalone, right? How technology can help their businesses. What are the values I can get it from the technology, what we are having it there. So it should be the value-based conversation, not the cost-based conversation. Okay. The second, this industry has a lot of stakeholders anyways, right? So the collaboration is the must. So we have a lot of transactions happening, a lot of handshakes happening, a lot of trust needs to be there. So, but entire supply chain will be inefficient if you do it through manual way, if you do it through paper way, that will be entire supply chain will be inefficient. It is not one player is efficient, another player is not efficient, right? Entire supply chain should be efficient. So the handshaking should happen, the trust should happen. That can happen only through the digital way. So and also all the players in the market or the industry needs to know digital is an assistant. It's a help to this industry, not just a cost. It's a value.
Okay, interesting observations. Look, when you say the negotiation or the communication should be based on the value, okay, that's a very interesting perception rather than that talking about in terms of cost. Can you give me an idea about how Unisys is specifically providing that value?
Yeah, I will take one example. We have one solution called cargoportalservices.com. What the solution is a digital sales and collaboration platform. Okay, so you think of this, right? This platform is primarily for the sales persona in the organization, in the airlines. Okay, the salesperson's responsibility is much more than handling the transactions. The forwarder calls them, hey, can you give me the quote? Can you tell me, it's an inquiry based conversation, and can you make a booking? That is not the salesperson needs to do it. The salesperson has much more responsibility, right? All the things, the handling the inquiries, making the booking, creating the documentations. We have a solution called cargoportalservices.com, which takes care of all. It is the sales and collaboration platform between forwarders and the airlines. Then if you're releasing that kind of job from the salesperson, then he has a lot of time and energy to focus more on actual selling, right? To talking to effective conversation with the customers, to bringing more sales to the airlines. So, and also to enable that, we have analytics, we have insights, in this platform, which helps the salesperson in the airline to sell it better. So these are the values, right? So which can be easily get it by having this solution. So that is one example I could put it that where the airlines can get the benefit.
Thanks for that example. It clearly shows how we should think about the cargo industry to help the salesperson do their job better. Now, you are already talking about data and analytics, for example. One of the things that we are talking about, everybody is talking about right now is AI and generative AI, for example. Give me an idea about how Unisys is using these technologies, artificial intelligence or cloud computing, all these things, how you are implementing those new technologies into your solutions, and give us also some tangible results of these technologies.
Yeah, so it's a very good question. Okay, so see, AI can help in all the areas of supply chain, including customer service, or making the booking, or doing acceptance and the warehouse processing, delivery, and so on. In all the areas of supply chain, AI can help to make it the supply chain more efficient, right? So I will take the two examples to have a clear explanation of what we are talking. If you think of this, right? So early days and even now, the forwarders need to have an inquiry with an airline, or to do a booking. They, in the olden days, that they used to pick up the phone and make a booking, right? But what was happening behind the scene was a conversation, was the information sharing, was the intelligence, information tailored to their business. That's what happening in the backend. But now, with the advances of, we say it's a technology, we have come up with the screens. We converted that conversation based business, the call based business, to the screens. The screen has a field, so the screen has a buttons, right? So because of this, the penetration of e-booking, the penetration of e-arrival, penetration of e-freight, it's low, right? We have been talking about e-freight, e-booking, e-arrival for long years, even in any of the conferences. But why? Because the technology is not that simplest, right, for the customers to use. This is one of my feeling that probably that we have to give much more simplest solution to the customers to do the digital transaction kind of things. So where AI can help, right? We have recently have done the concept of using the conversational AI and Gen AI, okay, generative AI, to mimic the manual way of doing the conversations to booking to the automated way of doing it, right? So the manual way of doing the booking has a lot of cost involved, right? So as I said, that the salesperson's time and energy is much more important than answering queries, making the booking. The second is, most of the airlines having the call center set up and all these things, it adds cost to the airlines, right? So that's why the technology like Gen AI, right? So it could be the specialized bookings. You see the dangerous goods, the human remains, live animals, pharmaceuticals. These needs the more knowledge to guide the customers to make the booking. That can't be done using the screens, fields, because it will be more heavy, right? So we need to make the technology or the solution simplest for the customers to use it so that the penetration will be higher. So that's where the AI will help. The Gen AI is very helpful, right? So we are all using ChatGPT for doing things for our personal use. Why not we use ChatGPT for air cargo, for the business? So that's what we have done it. So in the last IATA One Record Hackathon, we won the award for putting that idea into this. So we won the award. Now what we are doing is we are making that as a product to help our customers.
Thanks for those explanations. Thanks for that. How I see you, for example, is not just as a technology expert, but also as an air cargo expert, because you handle so much of data, okay? Because you have so much of data coming from your customers, and you try to create market intelligence from that, and you provide that to back to your customers. Give us some insights also about what is happening in the market in terms of how this data is used and how your communications are with some of these salespeople or your clients.
Sure. I think we're all talking about the data. So we also know that the data is a new oil. Some people call it as new gold, right? I think in my view, data is also perishable, right? If you don't use yesterday's data for the today's planning, you are missing something, right? That's what we are very keen in using the data, because now, as I said, there is a journey the air cargo industry is doing currently. We are converting the paper to digital. That journey is, we need to expedite this. But once it generates a lot of data, right, the people are using data logger, for example, for pharmaceutical shipments, to sensing the the temperatures and all the things. So what it happens, it generates a lot of data, right? So the data logger is just a reactive part of it, right? If something happens, then it tells that, hey, something has happened, go and solve it. But what we need to do is we need to be so proactive. It is not just a sensing, we need to sense making, right? We need to make sense of the data. So that's what we are working on. We have one recent solutions called Unisys logistics that optimization. So we use the data which is available in this air cargo industry and optimize the processes. Okay, for example, one of the thing is capacity optimizations. So we all know that space is money, right, for the airlines. If the space is left empty once the flight is flown, then there is a missing revenue, right? So how I can increase the revenue using the data what we have, right? So we are optimizing the ULDs, where we can load more parcels into the ULDs, and we are also loading the ULDs into the aircraft so that we can optimally load this so that it will result into increasing the revenue.
We are already talking about some of your products like the portal where the freight forwarders and the airlines come together and interact. Right now we are talking about the optimization thing. Can you give an idea about the history of this, your product portfolio, how that has evolved, for example, and give us a picture about the complete product portfolio?
Sure, I'm happy to do this. See, Unisys has been in this industry for more than 4 decades, right, as you said. So in the last 4 decades, and we keep serving this industry. So we have IT solutions for the airlines, we have IT solution for the ground handlers, and we have IT solution for the freight forwarders, right? We are helping the industry to go more digital way, right? So we are converting the manual way of doing the business to the automated way of doing this business. That is what that we have been serving this industry for the last 4 decades. Now the shift is happening, right? So we have to go and transform the businesses. As you said, what is a digital transformation? It's happening. We have to transform the businesses. Now technology is available, right? Unlike the AI has been there for long years, but the usage of AI is now is more, right, when compared to the few years ago, after the ChatGPT and the Gen AI comes in. So what we are doing is we are leveraging that AI and do how we can bring in the optimization into this entire supply chain and how we can streamline the businesses. The ultimate result for the industry is to reduce the cost, increase the revenue, and improve the customer service, right? As I said, that under the Unisys logistics optimization umbrella, we have modules which is already developed. So one, I said the capacity optimization. So that capacity optimization is ultimate aim of this capacity optimization is to reduce the stowage loss, right? So it's all what you're doing is, it's not the digital way of doing the business. Now our shift is changing. We have to use the data to do a lot of optimization into the supply chain. So that's what we have been doing currently.
You mentioned few interesting things like how the data logger is a reactive, equipment. So and you have to create proactive or predictive. Okay, so I can understand how Unisys or you are thinking about the market or the industry, for example. Can you give me an idea about what makes Unisys different from competitors, into this market, providing technologies to the cargo market? I can see a good number of companies there. What makes Unisys different?
I think we are the first mover of taking the AI into solutions, right? So that, it is not, we understand that only generating the data using the digital solution is not enough. Okay, so we have to move into AI world, right? So AI, it's not just a technology, we call it. We provide the values through the AI solutions. That is the first differentiator when compared to the others in this one. We are building solutions using AI. Okay, that's you can see it in the recently we have launched Unisys Logistics Optimization. That is using AI and bringing the benefits of quantum computing. When you have more data, you need to come up with the solutions with the data, right? So to run all the data to come up with the solutions with a normal computing, you can't do it. You need a quantum computing for the near real-time results. So that's the differentiator when compared to others in the market. We are the first movers of using the AI and the quantum computing to give values to this air cargo business.
What are your priorities going forward in terms of these solutions? Where are you focusing everything on?
Serving the air cargo industry with the latest technology, and that gives value to the businesses, right? So it's a short, right? So, and if I debrief it, that is you can tell the different solutions. It is not we are explaining, we are just telling it in the interviews. So we have the real solutions out there, right? So if someone is interested to see that how the real solutions will value to the business, so talk to us. We are happy to demonstrate to them. So it's a generative AI, right? So we have done the prototype. As I said, in the IATA One Record Hackathon, we have put that idea into the concept, right? And there's a lot of interest from the industry saying that, wow, it's a great idea, right? So these kind of things, it's differentiating us from the others, and we are more focused on the AI. We are more focused on using the data to give solutions to the industry.
There are different variables that are influencing the ecosystem. For example, when COVID-19 came in, that was completely a new thing, for example, or which pushed the digital transformation a bit further. But there are also other variables like e-commerce. I'm covering other modes of transport as well, logistics as well. So I have seen how e-commerce changing the logistics companies in terms of technology or digital adoption. Also, e-commerce creating new type of logistics companies, for example. So in a similar way, these verticals can influence the logistics industry, particularly air cargo. Air cargo also moves some specialized, cargo like the temperature controlled or specialized goods, for example, and also e-commerce. How these verticals are influencing air cargo in terms of new technologies or digital adoption.
So you asked a question about e-commerce. It's very interesting to me, right? So it's if you look at the core, why there is a change in the industry because of the e-commerce, right? So it's all because of the customer's expectations. The customer's expectation is rapidly changing. The another view of this is the patience level of generation by generation is also drastically reducing. I'll give you an example. My grandparent was okay to wait for weeks to receive the goods. My parent was okay to wait for days to receive the goods. I am okay to wait for hours to receive the goods. My son, he is just 6 years old. I'm really worrying about the next generation. He's just 6 years old. The moment we ordered something online, the next minute he is asking when it will be arrived. See the expectations and the patience level from the weeks to days to hours to the minutes. So when the customer expectation is changing, the entire ecosystem needs to change, right? And the air cargo is all about speed, right? So air cargo is the only mode of transportation to meet those expectations, right? So of the different, the generations things. But we know the fact that there are a lot of inefficiency in the supply chain, right? So we need to prune the dead woods. We need to make the supply chain more efficient. In my view, it will only be possible using the digital tools like us is to increase the efficiency. So when we increase the efficiency, when we be proactive using artificial intelligence, then we can cater to the customer's needs, right? So the change is the one that we need to embrace it. But when the minute level expectation comes, we need to think differently, right? Not only the one players, because knowingly, unknowingly, the air cargo supply chain has a lot of stakeholders, right? Everyone collectively needs to change. Everyone collectively put it in the perspective like how I can satisfy my customer, right? The minute level things definitely will come.
Do you think there is that kind of communication, that kind of collaboration happening in the market right now? What do you see from your client?
It is happening, but it is not happening in a full-fledged way, right? See, I think there is a trust is again a factor. When you see the collaboration meaning what, right? You need to share your data with other stakeholders, right? So why there is a hesitation in sharing all the data to the other stakeholders? Because the trust level is missing. But the technology can help it, right? To bring the trust, to trust between the stakeholders. Hey, your data is safe, right? What are the things that you need to share it with other stakeholders that will be shared? And that's where we come into place. We as a, connecting all the dots, we have a chain, but it's like we are the chain, right? For all the stakeholders to connect together into the supply chain. So short answer is the collaboration is happening, but the trust is missing, but we can enable the trust for the entire supply chain.
We are here at Air Cargo India 2024. There is a lot of positive vibe about the Indian air cargo industry, how it is growing, for example, or how will it grow, for example. Can you give me an idea about how technology can contribute to it? And what is your message for some of your potential clients or customers here in India?
Air India event is so great, that as I said about the trust, the one other trust will come. So when you meet the people face to face, right? So it's a great event, and I learned a lot. I met several people, right? The message to our customers and the prospects and the industry is, reap the benefits from the digital tools, right? So we have to change the mindset, right? So digital technology, it's not equal to cost. Technology is equal to value, right? So some of the technologies will come, as I said, the cargoportalservices.com, which is free of cost for the freight forwarders to do transactions with the airlines. So reap the benefits. When the technology is there, when the digital tool is there, why don't you use it? Use that, right? And the other industries are rapidly moving, but we have to rapidly move because the customer expectations is also rapidly changing. So reap the benefits from the digital tools. Come and talk to us if you need any help. So enable the businesses and all those things. So we are always here to help the industry.
Thank you so much, Sabari, for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Libin. It was always pleasure talking to you. Thank you.